Welcome back to Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and right now we're going to talk about IQIYI, ticker symbol IQ. So we're looking at IQ here on the daily time frame, and we were looking for a breakout once we broke past this $28 line of resistance. But once we got up a little bit, you could see what followed today was an extraordinary sell-off. And so this sell-off was triggered by the fear of Chinese companies getting delisted from major exchanges due to compliance issues with auditing and other taxes. And so that type of fear really pressed down on a lot of these Chinese tickers today. And so there's actually a 3-year probation period that some of these companies get to regain compliance of these American accounting laws. And so do I think IQ is going to get delisted? Absolutely not. And so this is a massive company that is backed by one of the biggest companies in China, Baidu. And so do I think these guys are going to get delisted? No. If they were to get delisted, that is going to make a huge dent in the already terrible relationship between the United States and China, and that is not something that I believe Biden is going to want to follow through with. So one of my followers here on Twitter the other day actually asked me if IQ is going to hit 30 by the end of the day, and that was yesterday, and I responded back yesterday saying I'd love to see a retest of 28 before we do. And those of you guys who have been following me long enough know that I'm always preaching about the back test and the retest. We always have to get the retest before we get any sort of confirmation of a breakout. And so with IQ, we were waiting and watching. We got our break above our level of resistance, but you can see we never back tested it once. And so I was patiently waiting for a back test. And then today we got to this point, and you can see our sell-off just accelerated. So that was not great price action. And so this is why we always wait for the back test, because if you don't, stuff like this happens and you always get burned. And so I have learned through a lot of mistakes in the past with the back test confirmation. And sometimes it's very hard to distinguish, because if you look at it right here, would you consider this right here a back test? No, because this is when we initially broke out. And so if this candle came back down and we back tested it here, that would have been a back test. But this was not a back test. This was a breakout. I hover and trade sideways, and then the next day we did just get clobbered. And it's not very often you see a sell-off at this magnitude where we break our 50, our 100, and we see a test of our 200-day SMA all in the same day. And so I actually did end up buying a call option right here on this bottom, just because this is such an extraordinary sell-off that I do expect to see some sort of bounce here at the very least to our 50 SMA. And so we'll see what happens here with IQ and how investors really interpret these auditing fears and these delisting fears. And those of you who are really serious about making money, I really hope this shows you how important that retest confirmation is in trading. And so I just want to apologize for those of you guys who did get in at this $28 mark and now are down on your position. I still would not be fearful. I still think this stock is going to run extremely hard once we break past this level of resistance. But this was just a temporary blimp on the road. But notice how the news comes out at such a very critical level on a technical basis. And so that's kind of how the stocks usually work. When you're going up, they're going to try to find a way to bring you down. And so just remember, Kathy Woods is investing into China. China fundamentals are looking extremely promising. And so with the US dollar losing its value day in, day out, the Chinese yuan is just going to get stronger. Therefore, their economy is going to get stronger. Once the inflation fears in the United States become a real problem, then you're going to see a lot of that value transferring over into foreign equities. And that's when I believe IQ is going to have its tremendous run. But I did believe we were going to start to break out here. But this was a very tough day that I want to take accountability for. And I want to apologize to anybody who did buy here at $28, because I should have been more definitively clear here that we were looking for that retest and back test, and we never got it. When we tried to back test, we just broke down. And so if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. We are on the road to 10K subs. If you made it to this point, feel free to hit that subscription button. This is Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.